Hello and welcome to the Unnamed F1 podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Cooper.
And today we'll be talking about the Bahrain GP, which was a while ago. Sorry about the delay on this podcast. Life takes precedent, basically. Life takes first priority. So, yeah. We'll be doing Bahrain and China. They'll be very close together, which is not how it should have been. But anyway, move on. So we'll just be chatting about the Bahrain Grand Prix, qualifying, the race, and a bit of testing afterwards. Not that much, because actually there's a lot to talk about, unlike China. Not this podcast. Maybe having a special guest next time. We'll see how we go. Our fantasy analyst will. You'll find out next time. Again, thanks for listening to the podcast, and join our fantasy league. Link in the description if you're watching on YouTube. So we're just going to skip through the news because there's nothing to talk about.
Yep.
I mean, there was a new DRS zone that they added, which no one really noticed.
Yeah.
Some more start lights, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all the news. Like, it's not pre-season stuff. It's hard to talk about news. So straight into the recap.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with qualifying. Do you want to start with something? You start.
Yeah. Well, Gasly did terrible as usual.
As usual.
Disappointed, but not surprised.
Shouldn't be that harsh. He's a good driver. He's just hasn't found the groove yet.
Yeah, but I still think, like, for example, when Max Verstappen joined Red Bull, he won his first race and qualified third in qualifying.
Yeah,
he's up his game quite a bit.
I have heard that the 2019 Red Bull is kind of hard to drive. That's from what I've read. There are some balance issues and things. Mercedes, I think, were having a similar issue or something. But
at the same time, Max Verstappen's he got a podium in Melbourne. He was doing well in Bahrain.
Yeah.
And future races.
Yeah, if we pull up the race result, qualifying actually, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, 6th. No, that's China. Okay, wrong race. So he qualified 13th, which is not where the Red Bull car should be.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, he was beaten by Albon, who was in the junior Red Bull car, essentially.
Yeah. So,
there's an issue there. I think, from what I've read, he's just having problems getting settled into the car. Like, Max was able to get settled easily. Gasly obviously isn't. They're just different drivers. They just react differently to things. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was only, I'm just looking at the times right now, there's only 0.4 of a second in it between Pierre Gasly and Max Verstappen. So it was super close.
in Q2, yeah.
Oh no, that was in Q1. Oh, I was looking at Q1 right now. Q2.
But if you look at in Q2, there's a 4.4 difference. Yeah. So I don't know. Obviously, they, as you can see, like, the times fall proportionally. So they're still 0.4 off each other in Q1 and Q2. So hopefully he gets into that mode. I mean, people are criticizing Pierre Gasly this year for at a similar time that people were going over Max Verstappen last year, obviously for different reasons, but he'll find his groove and he'll figure out what's working, and he'll figure out how to get the Red Bull car where it should be.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, I think he's pretty, I wouldn't say safe, but Red Bull's kind of running out of drivers at this point too. Like, they brought in Albon out of nowhere, and they brought in Daniel Kvyat back from the dead.
Yeah.
So they're not going to drop him. Like, I've heard people saying, they'll drop him if he keeps going bad. Like, what are they going to do? They either promote Albon, who is good, but nothing special so far. Like, he came third in F2.
Well, if we look at, as we'll discuss in the next podcast, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
In China. But, I see what you mean. But, I mean, the closest person they've got is Dan Ticktum, who's currently waiting on, essentially needs to get a super license.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, he's not even that spectacular. Like, there are other drivers. Like,
I mean, yeah.
Like, Mick Schumacher's in F2 now.
Yeah,
like
he's not doing great either. He's 8th at the moment. So
right, okay.
I mean, it was the first 2 races, but
yeah.
Maybe it needs 2 seasons to settle in. Some drivers need more time than others, but yeah. Sorry, let's move on. Williams at the back of the grid again.
Not surprised.
This is going to be a common theme.
They were 1.5 seconds off the pace in Q1 where they got eliminated, 19th and 20th. So not even a chance of them getting in.
Yeah, it's how far behind they are is insane.
Yeah.
Like if you look at pole time compared to Williams, they're almost 3 seconds behind. No, 4 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Pole.
And the worst part is their car from like last year and the year before
was faster.
It's faster, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone has gotten faster, though. Everyone's gotten like a 10th faster over last year.
Except Williams. They've gone backwards.
Yeah. Everyone's gotten faster, obviously. Even though, despite the rule changes, the engine power and other things that they've done. So, yeah. Hopefully they can dig themselves out of that hole. George Russell, from his race performance, we'll get into in a minute, he seems to basically be driving the wheels off that car. Like it seems he's getting... If you look at the race result from Bahrain, Russell is 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that is second last, but anyway.
Doing as much as possible. I reckon if anyone's going to score points for Williams, it'll be Russell, and it'll be basically just 10 people in front of him DNFing or spinning out or something.
Yeah,
and
it'll be Baku or something. It'll have to be something like that.
1.10th place. That'll be it.
Yeah.
If at all, I wouldn't be surprised if Williams don't get a single point all season. Because it's not like at least last year with Williams and McLaren, they were last, but they were kind of not that far back. Now Williams is just about 2 seconds behind.
Formula 1.9 or something.
People are saying there's Formula 1, there's Formula 1.5, which is the midfield, and there's Formula
Williams. Yeah, I read this funny article, satirical story, that George is saying that, Williams promised George Russell they'll have a car equivalent to his F2 car last year by mid-season. It's pretty funny. It just... Hopefully they can get out of where they are, but...
Yeah, I mean,
it's disappointing.
I feel bad for George Russell because he won F2. He's got given
a really good driver.
Car on the grid. Whereas Lando Norris, who came second, got given a very good McLaren this year, and same with Alex Albon.
Yeah, who we didn't expect them to be doing what they are at the moment, like Albon and Norris. But anyway, time will tell what happens. But
well, I mean, speaking of the McLarens, they did very well in the race.
Even in qualifying, they did really well.
Oh yeah, not only did they qualify well, so
like Sainz was in P7, which is nearly best of the rest, which is
Lando
insane.
Norris was P10. So I'm pretty sure that was the both times since 2015 or something that both McLarens made it into Q3. It's the first time
I don't know,
because it didn't happen last year. It didn't happen the year before. Definitely.
Now, let me check Australia results. Yes, no, it's the first time they both made it into Q.
So that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, and Lando's been in, as of Bahrain, he's been in 2 Q3 sessions, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Which is for a junior driver, his first 2 F1 races, and he's got in a McLaren, which shouldn't be where it is.
Yeah, and then he ended up finishing the race in
P6, I think it was best of the rest.
And during the race, he overtook Pierre Gasly in a Red Bull
in this insane move,
in the most insane overtake I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Somehow round the outside off the track limits, comes back over in front of him, which I don't understand how he took a longer route anyway.
Yeah.
The overtake.
It's just he managed to pull it off and fun, and he's the only driver on the grid who could do an overtake like that. And then he goes in a post-race interview with I think it's Will Buxton or someone, and saying, I wanted to post it on my social media, but I couldn't. I saw it on Reddit. Like, he's the only driver. He seems... Yeah.
Well, he's still a teenager, and you can tell.
Yeah, he's the meme lord of the grid, which is fun.
And then Carlos Sainz as well was fighting with Max Verstappen at one point.
We'll get into that in a second, but...
Okay.
Grosjean got a penalty. I don't remember what for. I think it was obstructing Lando Norris. That was it.
Yeah, during qualifying though, right?
During qualifying, and then Was it fair? I think it was fair.
Well, yeah, because if you screw someone's qualifying lap over, that means everything in the race. Like we've seen many times in the past where all like the most important overtakes happen on the first lap based on your qualifying position, and then the race kind of stays locked in that position for the next 50 laps or whatever. So
qualifying basically just gets you free overtakes, essentially.
Yeah,
it's every grid spot for the grid.
Yeah, if you're
not making any sense, but
it's a lot easier to defend your position than to overtake a better car.
Yeah, you understand. We've also got Leclerc on pole, which was really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
And they didn't go that way in the race. We'll get into that in a second. So, yeah. Obviously, now we're actually moving on to the race, officially. The little thing between Verstappen and Sainz, what was that like? I think they touched wheels or something. And
so Sainz was going, I think... he was not. I don't know if it was inside or outside, but he was overtaking Verstappen, and then Verstappen, being the very aggressive, but I guess you could say fair defender he was, cut it back on the inside. And from the cameras on the race, it looked like that Verstappen was in wrong, but he actually left.
Pull up the overtake.
Yeah, but I think what happened was Sainz went out around the outside and squeezed Verstappen off the track, and so Verstappen only had a meter of track between him and the curb, and he was already riding over the curb. So
having a look here. So Sainz goes around the outside.
Yep.
And then, oh my god, okay, you could probably hear that, but yeah, I didn't realize how loud that was. Anyway,
yes.
So basically
on the corner, and then gets punctured.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's just Verstappen being Verstappen. He's a hard racer. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. But I mean, what he was doing was pretty fair. He was holding his position, and then he actually moved out of the way. Collision, but he just got squeezed so much by Sainz. I mean, it was just unfortunate because that could have been a really, really good battle that would have lasted several laps.
Sainz
might have even had him because we saw Norris getting Gasly, so it would have been very possible.
Got some close racing moments. I don't remember half of this anyway, but some fun close racing.
There were battles between both Mercedes drivers and both Ferrari drivers, which was the first race I've ever seen where the top teams were battling each other, in fighting with no team orders. It was really good.
Yeah. So that was good to see. It's good to see that's like the last time we had some good close racing was last year. So yeah. And wasn't a very good day for Sebastian Vettel. We had a spin.
Yeah.
And then that moment that looked like it'd be from a sci-fi film where his wing just flies off.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened. I think during the spin he weakened his front wing, so it became weak. And then when he was going through the new added DRS zone, the vibrations just got insane. If you look at the video, you can see it's bouncing all over the place, and then it just snaps off in front of him. You run to himself.
Pull up on my phone here, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It seems to be a thing that when people's wings fall off this year, they don't just fall off; they break, and the entire front wing just flies underneath the car. Why is this happening? Obviously we got Ricciardo in
Melbourne,
Australia. So that was. If I find this, I can somehow find this. Where is this insane wing moment? Yes. Yeah, so the entire wing just kind of flew underneath the car, and it was like a massive thing of sparks. It was insane.
Yeah.
Insane to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, it wasn't a very good day for him. That's like I saw on Reddit. He's made so many different mistakes. Someone listed them all, like all the spins and the crashes, and So yeah.
I mean, if he keeps it up, I wouldn't be surprised if by next year, Leclerc is the number 1 driver and Vettel's number 2.
Yeah, and speaking of Leclerc, it would have been such a great race win for him, but it wasn't.
Yeah, he got really unlucky towards the end.
Yeah, his engine basically just... Well, okay, it didn't blow up. He had, I'm pretty sure...
The turbo?
No, it was one of the... I think it was something to do with one of the cylinders. One of the cylinders, the injectors or something stopped working. So, essentially, he was running on 5 cylinders.
Oh, okay. Right.
People were saying it's the MGUH. Some people saying it was the turbo. But yeah, it was a cylinder issue. Ferrari managed to just fix it. Like there was no penalties or anything or any swapping of parts. It was just I think it came loose or something. Or I don't know, but it was a small thing people expected.
Yeah,
it was just really unfortunate watching him in that race and going, guys, I have an issue.
Yeah.
And you see Hamilton passing him and Bottas passing him and almost Verstappen.
Yeah, well then the safety car came out because both Renaults happened to DNF on the same corner for different reasons, which I thought was pretty crazy coincidence.
Yeah,
if that had happened just like a lap or two earlier, or 3 or 4 laps earlier, Leclerc could have still won. Because it took them a while to clear those cars.
I don't think so. Because if they'd done that, if the safety car had come out...
5-6 laps to clear both those cars. Because they only had one crane. 2 cars.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But the race finished under the safety car, which has only happened, I think, 8 times. Ever.
Right, okay.
So...
Because a lot of the time, if that's going to happen, they red flag it. But I mean, there was only like 2 laps left, so...
Yeah, it was 2 laps left, and it was just 2 cars out. It wasn't a massive pile-up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the double DNF, so obviously, there you go. Ricciardo's new team is trying to screw Verstappen over. It's all a conspiracy, you see. I mean, that's all to talk about. It was a really good race to watch.
Yeah.
Wasn't one of the... It's not one of the best races I've seen, but it's pretty good.
Best I'd say. Best of the year so far.
Well, yeah. Definitely best of the year. We'll have a quick chat about testing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not much to talk about. It's testing. George Russell drove a Mercedes and wasn't at the back of and thinks at the fastest time. This is quite ironic.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened in testing, but
Fernando Alonso was testing too.
Oh yes, Fernando Alonso. We had.
I don't know why.
And then there was Dan Ticktum as well. Yeah, it's good to see Alonso back in a F1 car, but it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. He's not going to be back on the grid.
Because no other team wants to work with him.
Yeah, he's a pain to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that really. Anything else you want to mention from that race?
Nothing I can really think of, to be honest. I think that's pretty much covered everything.
Yeah. As next time, join our fantasy league. Again, I'm going to plug it again first. Again.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, see you all next time.
See you.